Hello, people of the internet. It is I, GareBear890, back again with another video. Alright, so I was feeling a little nostalgia for the PS3 lately, and I decided I wanted to do my top 10 favorite PS3 games. And I did it. And so I will be sharing that with you shortly. But quickly, I just wanted to tell how I came to pick up a PS3. Surprisingly, it was at GameStop. I had saved up just enough to get a PS3 and God of War. About. So, anyways, I went down with my cash in hand and I said I would like one PS3 and I want to pick up God of War 3, please. And the guy informed me, hey, we're doing the buy two, get one free. So, if you just buy one more game, you'll get a free game. And I'm like, well, maybe I can make that happen. So I went and browsed the selection and I came up with two other games. But by this time, of course, there's like 10 more people in line, and so I had to wait to get to the front of the line all over again. And finally I get up there and we ring it all up and I do not have enough money to do the whole bundle. And so he's like, "Oh shoot, sorry man. Well, I guess, just whatever game you want most." I'm like, God of War 3. And like that sucked, but at the same time, like I was just so excited that I didn't even care. It was like, dude, I don't even care. I'm not gonna play those other two until after I have finished God of War. And so I go out and I get in my truck, and all of a sudden there's this knock on my window, and there's this probably 17-year-old kid standing there with his maybe like 12-year-old sister or something. And they just have this look of dread on their face. And I'm like, "What's up?" And they're like, "Hey, we're sorry we backed into your truck." And so I hop out. I'm like, "Hey, where'd you hit me?" And they're like, "Right here on the rear bumper." Literally not a dent, not a scratch, nothing. I think it was just, they bumped into it, and being young kids, they did the right thing. But I was like, dude, have a good day. You're fine. I'm going to go play my PlayStation. So that's what I did. And that was many years ago. And so, anyways, let's get into the games. All right, so starting us off at number 10, we got Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, which I don't know. This one seems to generate a lot of mixed feelings with people. I think it's just one that from the very beginning when they first announced it, I was like, oh my gosh, dude, I gotta play that because Raiden was just, he was so cool, at least in this one for sure. And this was also obviously after playing Metal Gear Solid 4. And so it was like, okay, let's move into this, please. But then we heard nothing about it forever. Well, apparently they didn't officially announce it, but they had canceled it because I guess Kojima and the team were like not happy with the way things were going, and like just kind of felt like they couldn't make the game that they set out to make. Well, somehow they got talking with Platinum Games, and they're like, "Okay, well, look, we'll give you guys a shot at it, and have fun." And I think they did a great job. I was so excited for this. I remember I was waiting for the demo to come out, and I kept like checking the PlayStation Store like every hour, and then I had to download it, and then I played it like over and over and over. And it was actually right before it was coming out. I was in college, so I didn't have a lot of money. So, buying a $60 game was not a common occurrence. But my PlayStation, not my PlayStation, my Xbox 360, my second Xbox 360, died on me and gave me the red ring of death. But GameStop was having this like trade-in promotion, and they even said, "We'll take your red ring of death console." And so they gave me $75 for it. And so I put that towards this and a few other games, and it all worked out okay. And I was able to get a third Xbox 360 down the road. So yeah, anyways, didn't have to pay out of pocket for this, just a broken Xbox 360. All right, and then speaking of Metal Gear Solid 4, here it is. So I was quite excited about this one. Like, it looked so cool and so intense. And when I finally got to play it, I was just blown away. I kind of feel like that this is the first Metal Gear Solid. Now, I'm no diehard fan, okay, so I can't say that I played them all or I know everything, but it just felt like the whole mechanics and stealth ideas, like, really uh, came to fruition in this one. Like the PlayStation 3 was finally enough hardware to like push it to Kojima's vision like fully. That's kind of how I felt. I don't know, but it was an awesome game and I really liked it. And I remember it was crazy when it was like the ending cutscene was an hour and a half. But it's not exactly what you think because you can pause, rewind, skip, just skip it entirely if you want. But it was interesting all the way through because, of course, it's wrapping up like this immense story. So, yeah, pick this one up for $20 at Walmart. All right, now this is one that's kind of a hidden gem. Kind of went under the radar, and that is Puppeteer. I had my eye on it just because it kind of reminded me of Little Big Planet a little bit, and I just thought it looked really fun and unique. And it was actually on Black Friday that I was at Best Buy, and I had my couple games and few other items that I was getting. And also I just passed the shelf and saw that this one was only $20, and it hadn't been out too long, so I was like, dang, that is a solid deal. So I decided to pick it up, and I'm glad I did because yeah, just everything about this game is really cool and unique, like I was hoping. So yeah, I recommend it for sure. But after they announced the PlayStation Store was closing, then the price shot up. I think it's come down a bit, but not to where it was. But anyways, if you see this for a good price, I would definitely recommend it. Okay, up next we have Journey Collector's Edition. Now these other two games are absolutely incredible as well. I actually played Flower first, and I loved it and just like had such a relaxing time with it that as soon as they announced Journey, it was like I could just tell, like I knew it was going to be a game that I would love. And so when they announced, hey, we're going to be doing a physical release, collector's edition, I was like, okay, I'll just skip the digital edition for this and just pick this up. And so it was $30, but I believe I had like a gift card or a coupon, so I was able to get it for $10. And man, just what an experience. One thing that I really loved about Journey was if you were online, then you would randomly be in other players' worlds or they would be in your world, and you could choose to go along together or you didn't have to. But there was no way to communicate. Like, as far as I know, there wasn't even like a way to. Well, maybe if you got into like a PlayStation party, I don't know. But with these random people that weren't your friends, like there was no way to invite people in game to like play with you. And so I ended up playing like the entire game with this guy, and he helped me find all the secrets and like get all these trophies, and all of this was just pressing the talk button. Like you would just kind of chirp at each other, and yeah, we played the entire game together without even communicating. And then afterwards I looked up his PlayStation profile, and it turns out that he was in Germany, and I thought that was so cool. It's like, dude, we're clear apart, halfway across the world from each other, and we're able to play this game. And even though we don't speak the same language, it didn't matter. So anyways, I just thought that was really cool, and it just shows what games can do for people. And the same could kind of be said for this gem of a game, Little Big Planet. Definitely had my eye on this when they first announced it. When they were unveiling the PS3, I was actually still a pretty hardcore Nintendo fanboy, and so we're like, Sony and Microsoft, they suck. We don't like their games, but it was like secretly we were definitely envious and jealous of like all these cool games, like especially this one. But yeah, like I played online with this one too, and I just had so much fun messing around with people, and definitely just a really fun, creative game that I picked up for $17. All right, now this is a game that I actually didn't get around to until last year. So I have a PS5, and I was very much looking forward to the new Ratchet and Clank game. But I had only played Ratchet and Clank 2016, which was the remake/reimagining of the first one combined with the movie that they released. And I decided, you know what, I need to change that, seeing as how I literally own every single Ratchet and Clank game. And so I played through them all in order and had a blast, and more so than any other with this one. Ratchet and Clank Future, A Crack in Time. Just the puzzles were awesome. The story was really interesting. The levels were really cool. Like, I just had a ton of fun. This is one of those where it's like, it definitely didn't show its age for me, like, at all. It just was a really fun, awesome, well put together game. And so I actually picked this up in a GameStop buy two get one free deal, and so I paid nothing for it. Oh boy, here's a heavy hitter. And this one should be on just about everyone's list, in my opinion. The Last of Us. Um, Big Naughty Dog fan, love their games. And this one was like a pretty big departure. Like, it was definitely like, okay, this is a serious Naughty Dog game. Like, it's not kind of fun or lighthearted. Definitely really darker and kind of twisted in some ways. So I wasn't quite sure what to make of it. But when I saw the first demo, it actually like blew my mind. Like, just graphically what they're able to do, and like the mechanics of the game, I was like, holy cow, okay, I gotta look into this more. And so I was in college, so I didn't have like a lot of extra funds, but it was like shortly after launch, maybe like a couple of weeks at most. This guy was selling it on Craigslist for $35. Like, I think he was just like, got it, beat it, and just trying to get it sold as fast as possible. So I couldn't refuse it for $35. And so, yeah, and it didn't disappoint. Like, one of my favorite games of all time for sure. And for good reason, obviously. But I actually traded my original copy in towards the PS4 remaster, because GameStop had this deal where you could trade it in and you got $20 off the remaster, which was $40. And that came with the DLC Left Behind, which is absolutely incredible, and I think definitely a important part of the story. So I actually ended up picking this one up from a friend in a bundle when he was selling some of his PS3 games. And so it broke down that I paid $3.35 so that I could have another PS3 copy. Okay, speaking of Naughty Dog, we got Uncharted 3. Maybe I'm wrong, but sometimes I get the vibe that this is like the black sheep of the Uncharted family. And I have no idea why. There's not a ton of Uncharted games. Obviously, there's 6 of them, 5 of them on console. And this one is absolutely incredible. They have awesome story, some of the best set pieces in the entire series, and obviously the graphics were mind-blowing. This was definitely a day one pickup for me, so I paid about $63 for this, and I loved it. I loved it. It was a little on the shorter side, but it's tough, when they have that much detail, that much going on. Like, it took that long to be able to make the game, so I'm just grateful that we have it. And now, you know that I gotta have Uncharted 2. It's funny because I wasn't really paying attention to what Uncharted was when they were unveiling it. Like, no clue. And I randomly picked up the first one, and it absolutely just blew me away. That seems to be a phrase I'm using a lot today. But it did. Like, it was just like so much fun and so interesting, and I loved like exploring all the ruins, and especially the submarine that you find in the Amazon. Like, that was crazy. And when I finished it, I immediately, like that day, drove down to GameStop and was like, I need Uncharted 2. Now, luckily by this point, it had been out for a couple years, so I was able to pick them up for quite cheap. Like, I got this one for $17 about. And yeah, this is one of those amazing sequels that just took everything to the next level. Like, it just built on that foundation and made everything so much better. And so I feel like that 2 and 3 are very similar in quality and just pure awesomeness. But, I was talking with a friend and we kind of agreed. Well, the jump from 1 to 2 was huge. And it just was so incredible that, like, everybody loved Uncharted 2 and still does to this day, obviously. But, 2 to 3 wasn't quite as big of a jump, but it's because they had already established this incredible foundation for it. So, anyways, I think they're both great games, and I really enjoy the series. All right, last but not least, this should be pretty obvious, seeing as how at the very beginning I said why I got a PS3, and that was for God of War 3. And man, did this game live up to my expectations. Exceeded them, actually, because I had played God of War 1 and 2, and, those are absolutely incredible, especially 2, in my opinion. But this one just, like, took it just beyond the next level. Just, like, the fights you had, the story was so epic, Kratos was unhinged, the music was perfect. They took the bloodlust way beyond what the other games had seen. Just a really cool game. Like, I remember I couldn't stop playing, and this was the one that was like when friends came over, I showed them this, and like graphically it blew their mind, and like I had a couple friends over and I was playing it before they got there, and so they like all kind of came into my room and they were just watching me play. And so I'm like, okay, well, what do you guys want to do? And they're like, dude, just keep playing this. And I'm like, well, I didn't invite you guys over to just watch me play a game. And they're like, we don't care. Keep playing this. Man. So definitely well worth buying a PS3. And now you can play it on PS4. But incredible series. And this one to this date is still my favorite God of War. For good reason. So yeah, anyways, that's going to do it for me. Top 10 PS3 games. Tell me, what are some of your favorites? What are your favorite memories from PS3? There's just so many out there. But anyways, thanks for watching. And as always, have a good one.